the character that I've decided to go with, I wanted to make a half-orc.
Nice.
Because half-orc basically just translates to hot orc. It's like orcs with the hotness slider unlocked. So you can start cranking that up.
Yeah.
So I wanted to do like a half-orc barbarian type.
Ooh, very fun.
In sort of the lore that I've been thinking about for this character, he was, born to like an orc father, human mother sort of situation.
Oh, so he's a first-generation half-orc.
Yes. And but he lived for most of his life in sort of the orc tribes, like on the outskirts of civilization. And he lived with his father and kind of grew up there. And now he has decided he wants to try to spend some time on his mother's side of the family and sort of come into society and give that a try as well, to experience both parts of his heritage. So he comes from a barbarian sort of tribe, and he's trying to sort of distance himself a little bit from all the smashing and crushing and crashing that he does usually. So he's got like sort of the orc barbarian like battle rage issues.
Yeah.
Like it's very easy for him to fly into a fury. His name is his full name is Gyorek Rogdul.
Gyorek Rogdul.
That's his orc name, but to make things sort of easier for people in Fancy Town, he just goes by York. His dad owns no coats. His dad is a full orc.
Yeah, sure.
Tribes leader.
Let me try what my dad used to do to me to make me feel better.
I think I might be okay.
York just grabs him and starts shaking him violently. In the air.
I don't think that's helping.
No, it'll do it. It'll do the trick.
Are we all getting just splattered with mucus?
Good enough shake will do it. Don't worry.
I got some issues here. I'm sorry about the mucus.
Bird elves are very forgiving, unlike orcs.
We're super not. Clearly you've never met an elf before, but we don't give a shit. I'm just here to do my job.
All right. Then you are like orcs in many ways. Perhaps our similarities are bigger than our differences.
We can get along so well.
A paladin captain, you said.
Yes.
We've seen some of those out in the tribes.
Was he wearing armor at the parties?
Can someone read that?
York, do you also not know how to read?
Well, I can read the orc runes. This is stupid. What's dollars?
They're like bones.
How many?
Yeah.
They are like
What's
bones.
a really big amount of bones?
It depends on the size of the bones.
That's fair.
Picture like rare dragon bones.
Ooh.
Maybe like a dragon shin bone.
Dragon shin bone.
Maybe like a whole dragon skeleton.
Like a whole dragon skeleton.
I don't think you know what you're suggesting. In orc culture, you're polite to someone who can kill you. So people should usually be polite to me. Is that different?
York.
Anyone can really kill anyone, if I've learned anything.
Well,
in my
not
life.
me. I've found in the northern tribes, most animals are pre-made if you have sharp enough teeth.
I'm sure they are.
A turtle bone's worth 5 rat bones.
Okay.
Interesting.
And a rat bone is worth 5 bug bones. But those are hard to come by. Bug bones are kind of phased out as a currency at this point.
Wouldn't that make them worth more?
No, they were worth so little. They were more
like
work
pennies?
to get.
They're like pennies.
Okay.
What's a penny?
I understand now.
Don't worry about
hay
it.
pennies, like half pennies. There used to be like half pennies.
Well, half a bug bone would hardly even be visible. That's an insane thing to say.
What bugs have bones?
Northern bugs.
Okay, I've only been in the south, so
Yeah, you gotta go north.
gotta go north.
Some bony bugs up there.
Okay.
Candle bone's worth 5 turtle bones. Well, in my experience in the northern tribe, did I mention I'm come from the northern?
Yeah, with the
Yes.
bone bugs.
The northern tribes.
Yes.
In my experience with the northern tribes, the things that are often the most delicious are the things that are the hardest to kill.
That's your hair.
Well, there's a lot of people in the northern tribes that have this hairstyle. I did popularize it. That is our preferred method of
Like
cooking
one of
in the
them-
northern tribes.
Like one of them old timey cartoons where the guy gets cooked, a little cauldron.
I don't know about an old-timey cartoon, but we do a lot of cauldron cooking
In the north.
in the north. I've trained warhounds, and it's a similar situation.
It's a similar
except
situation.
if
Yeah.
their spirit gets out, they tear out your entrails.
I had one client that had a warhound, and they were trying to just sort of have it as a house
That's
hound.
a bad idea.
It's a bad idea, but you know what they did?
Got their entrails tore out, probably.
No, because they established boundaries.
Boundaries, of
Boundaries.
course. I'm learning something.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to wild train country?
No.
There are wild trains.
There are wild trains, and when you're in train country, last thing on your mind is taming one of those trains.
I
First
get-
thing
I
on your
get one.
mind
is getting out of the way.
Lots of wild trains up north.
Lots of
where
wild
York's
trains.
From. How many trains have you slain?
You don't slay a wild train. Are you out of your mind? The speed at which those things move.
The one thing York fears is trains.
I will kindly ask you to not invite me to that hangout sesh, please.
It would be my honor to not invite you to hang out with me.
Thank you. That means a
Until-
lot to me.
Yeah, but you are invited if you do want to come.
I swear to God. You know an orc can't refuse an invitation.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's part of orc
You're
culture.
not invited. You've been disinvited.
But I'm a half orc, so I can't half refuse. I'd rather
Is
not.
that how that works?
He can give a tentative maybe and then just not show up.
I'm
I
learning
might.
so yeah. It's
Oh, that's what I do.
I might
yeah.
show up.
okay. You might show.
I don't
up.
think I'm doing anything. I'll check my calendar
Yeah,
and
yeah,
I'll get
yeah.
back to you on it. But I might,
Perfect.
I might.
You might. Something might come up.
Something might come up. I got a lot of. I'm
Let
pretty
me
busy these days.
let me just give you a preemptive. No worries. If
What do you know about the wildlands? Have you been speaking to someone from the wildlands? Tell me right now. Have they found me? No. Okay, good. Still in the clear. Got some bad blood with the wildlands.
Huh.
You guys ever seen a bicycle before?
No.
Doesn't go to the middle of the wheel.
it doesn't go to the, but
How is York the only one who knows what a bicycle looks
The
like?
only way to escape the trains.
I
You're not fast enough on foot.
I hate this so much.
But if we ride bikes, we
I
can
think you're
escape the
doing a
trains.
great job.
Well, I've watched some of those orcish soap operas. It's the only channel we get up in the tribes. You only get one channel. A lot of soap operas and sort of the double identity thing's a common. That's usually what it ends up being.
Man, I love orcish soap operas.
Oh, you watch them too?
Yeah,
You watch Tusks of Our Lives?
yeah. And One Fight to Live. I love it.
That one's good. It's kind of fallen off this season, though.
Yeah,
Season
I mean,
37's not quite as strong as season 36 was, but
yeah, I mean, you got to cut them some slack. They changed up the writers for the season. They got to feel it out a little bit.
Could you believe what happened to Gory Rory this season?
I can't. Oh my God, what a twist! You know what I
It
mean?
was a real big
Spoilers!
twist. Oh, sorry. Grinda hadn't
what?
seen it.
Oh gosh.
You got to catch up. I've been
Okay,
telling you.
it's hard to keep up with them all the time.
I'll give you my my login information.
You're the lead singer of Birds of Prey?
You know it.
Oh my God.
Yep.
It all makes sense now.
Yep.
That's the only band we get up in the Orcish tribes.
So I see you've started off with a lemon here.
That's the only fruit we get up in the Orcish tribes.
All right. So another one of my favorite albums is Goodbye Yellow Slick Toad by Electric Tom.
Oh yeah, I definitely know this one.
Yeah, man.
Goodbye, Yellow Slick Toad.
Yeah.
That sounds like a sad one. I remember when I lost my yellow slick toad as a boy, I cried for at least 10 to 15 minutes. That's what I looked like when my toad went away. How'd you know, Grinda?
I think we've all had to deal with our toads going away in some form or other.
Yeah.
And I think that this album really speaks to that. I mean, it's a formative experience when your first toad, be it a yellow slick toad or
Sort of like a green lumpy
just
one.
a green lumpy one, or one of them giant brown ones.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah. One of them blue wet toads.
Hey, York, do you have a wild train problem up by you guys? I heard that's kind of
Yeah,
a
how'd you
problem
know?
sometimes. I just,
Sometimes we call them ground planes.
Yeah. I did a tour once in the wildlands. I just stopped for a moment and I went to the local bar and hung out with some orcs, and they had
Yeah.
mentioned the local wild train problem.
I remember that. I had to miss that show because I had to murder my brother.
Oh, how'd that go?
Sort of one of those throne,
Yeah.
unrightful claim
hmm
sort of situations.
How'd it go? Did you
well,
win?
I'm standing here, so I think you can imagine that
York,
I
that's
did not
scary.
get murdered. Which part about it? That I almost lost the throne?
That you murdered your brother?
I'm a prince. Did I mention that? I'm an orc prince.
Do you
My
need it?
toad was nowhere near this rude.
What was your toad's name?
Tammy.
It
Even
goes-
up in the orcish tribes, you don't bet against a weaver.
you don't bet against a weaver. It goes weavers, then leather workers, and then blacksmiths. We're third.
Are you actually peeing?
Well, I mean, I'm not just peeing. I always do both at once.
Besides, he's like my dad. I can't kill my dad. I'm so sad about this.
I can tell you right now, it is possible to kill your dad. I've seen it a lot in the orc tribes.
In the orc tribes, they do it all the time
Yeah.
up there, right?
It's
Have you
pretty
ever done a
common.
murder?
Yes.
Wow.
Well, not so much a murder as much as a victory.
It's
We
That's
call
one
it
way
victories.
of putting it.
York has lived such a full life before coming here to become a detective.
How old are you?
It's not something we need to talk about.
Ripe old age of 17.
Do a quick zoom in on York's brain. He doesn't know how old he is.
They measure
York
time
baby?
time differently up
They
in the
don't
northern
measure it.
tribes. Yeah.
York could count to 2 and just keeps repeating.
Now, I have done freelancing before. That's when you yank the lance out of the knight's hand when he's charging you,
Mm-hmm.
and you free him up so you can take his arms off his body.
Wow.
Is that what that one is?
We're
Do you guys
referring
do
to
that
a
here?
different kind of freelancing.
In
I
the
have to
orc
say-
tribes, when people are rude, there's usually a lot of blood involved.
Yeah.
Wow. But you were like rude to me earlier. You know, you like peeing on my.
You're not bleeding at all. What are you talking about?
There's like pee
He's
everywhere.
got a point.
That's a compliment.
York has great aim. He didn't get it everywhere.
Pee is compliment. Blood is insult.
So do you pee on people?
Well, I mean, only the ones you really like.
Okay.
That's how you know this one was a mistake.
Blood equal insult, pee equal
yeah,
compliment.
so you pee on people that you like.
Yeah. On or near.
And also no, I guess no indoor plumbing.
No.
Yeah, you don't know what bathrooms are, but you do understand the discourse of privilege.
That's a very
That's a
contentious-
universal truth. Yeah.
It's a
And that's great. I'm just saying, you don't know what bathrooms are.
it's a big subject in orcish culture right now, sort of orcs that come from the high tribes versus the low tribes and sort of what comes with that.
You do know what basketball is.
Yeah, basketball.
Yeah, you always knew what basketball was, but you don't know how cameras work.
Don't know how
Cameras.
cameras work.
Yeah, and you might not know what you look like,
Although you can draw
You
yourself.
have drawn yourself. Yeah.
but you couldn't recognize yourself in a photo.
No. Well,
I wonder how much of that is like orcish culture and how much of that is just 100% York.
Yeah, it's
Just
hard to
being-
tell.
well,
Just being a dumbass.
here's the thing. Here's
Yes.
the thing.
Yeah.
We don't have. You said cameras.
Yeah.
We don't have those,
I love how this conversation is going in and out of character as well.
Yeah.
and
I'm
we
so glad I don't have to animate this.
and we don't have mirrors. So all the sort of images of myself I've seen have been drawn depictions. A lot of
Okay.
people draw me because they're fans.
Oh, they drew you really well then. They did some really good fan art of you.
Thank you.
How many fans do you have, York?
I mean, a lot of fans. I'm sort of,
Are you famous in the north?
Damn,
Well,
you
as I
famous?
mentioned, I killed my brother in a blood feud, became an orcish prince. Remember that?
Wow.
Oh yeah, you are an orcish prince.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
You
another
didn't-
thing.
No one.
I went to school.
York can't read, but is pretty good
Great
at
at
math.
division.
Yeah. Well, because division is just like cutting stuff up, so that makes sense.
Yeah, it's important to know how many parts you can bisect a man into.
Yeah, that's like the main. That's Orc's favorite math is division.
Because if I just want to threaten someone, I'll say something like, you better shape up or else I'm taking an eighth. And that's an eighth of their body.
Yeah,
And they don't know which eighth it's going
they
to be.
don't know which eighth it's
but
gonna
I do.
be. Yeah,
I know which eighth. Figured you didn't mean northern cats because northern cats are pretty terrifying.
Northern cats are
Are
trains.
you scared of them?
yeah, more or less terrifying than the trains.
Grandma,
Yeah.
don't be silly. Nothing is more terrifying than trains.
Okay. Sorry.
That's insane to even insinuate.
I was just asking. I'm fascinated, but I don't know anything about the northern tribes. I learned so much from you, York.
The cats we keep as battle pets.
Okay.
There are battle cats.
Oh, battle cats.
Yeah. And they can be pretty cute too, admittedly.
Yeah, how big are they?
They're about 8 feet long
That's fun.
and
Do
8
you,
feet tall.
Do you ever need like someone to walk the battle cats?
I think they might be a little outside of your sort of pay grade.
Well, I mean,
If they see a northern hill squirrel, they're off and running. We're strongly anti-tobacco in the orc tribes.
Wow. I never knew that.
Yeah, we just eat mushrooms.
What?
York,
We
you
just
have
eat
got.
we eat whatever
We've got.
mushrooms.
We gotta, York, you and me, we gotta hang out after this.
Do you want to go eat the orcish mushrooms?
I would love to eat orcish mushrooms.
Don't you dare bring any of that tobacco, though. That's the devil's grass.
Certainly not.
And
Is
the
tobacco grass?
Tobacco is orcish grass.
Whoa.
The cows eat it. That's how you know it's bad for you to eat. Nothing's ever escaped my grasp. I didn't let go.
Well, I'm pretty stubborn, so.
I once held on to an antelope for 2 weeks.
You
know what they say?
Beautiful.
The perspective on this guy is wild.
I love it.
I want you to stop for a
Takes
moment.
5 pickles to hold a potato. That's what I was always taught.
I want like a
In
special.
the northern tribes. Oh, it's one of them fuzzy potatoes. I've heard about those.
This potato's been sitting in the pantry.
They only grow in the northern tribes.
They're hard to perceive.
You think you know where the edge of the potato is, but then the fuzz keeps going.
That's why you have to grab it with your whole hand.
That's why you have to
Or
grab it with
5
your whole
pickles.
your
Yeah,
whole
you gotta
5
put
pickles.
on your pickle glove before you touch an orcish fuzzy potato, or else you're going to regret it.
That's
what
what.
happens when you touch it with a bare hand.
Yeah, it gets scared.
That's
This is its
scary.
defense. Yeah.
Can you make this line like neon yellow?
Yeah.
Oh, it's building up its power.
it's
Yeah,
gonna go.
Yeah,
it's
that's
dangerous.
perfect.
That's a
That'll
dangerous
go.
tater. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now.
This man is blinded by the power that he holds. He doesn't realize the danger
You
that he's
didn't
in.
expect it.
Don't that happen to us all when we see an orcish potato? You get a little caught up in the moment. It's all pretty standard stuff. I filled one stomach in the pantry, and I got to fill my other stomach in the dining room. So that's where I want to go.
All right, we're gonna exhaust all the food rooms. This is the last food room.
Yeah, you
York.
cannot be hungry after this.
Well, once my second stomach is full, I'll be done eating
Okay.
for the next 2 days.
Is that why you poop so much?
It is. That's why the volume of poop is very high.
You're saying that you sneak up on wild trains to kill them.
If that's the only way you can kill a wild train, I'd love to see you go head to head with one, see how that turns out for you.
What is the weakness of a wild train?
You got to get over in the engine compartment while they're sleeping. One time it was hot outside and I went to go fan myself with my hand, accidentally killed a rhino.
That's impossible.
Tell that to the rhino.
Did the rhino like have a
didn't
heart
seem
attack at the
impossible
same
for him.
time, or
I swung a little too hard, smacked him.
Yeah, it was probably a young, very healthy rhino.
Yeah.
It's just York, you know? He's just so strong. Were you a strong baby?
strong baby?
There's no such thing as a strong baby.
Oh, but there is a thing like wild trains.
Yeah.
Or York, were you not a strong baby?
No one's a
just-
strong baby, but
I just assumed.
orcs are only a baby for a couple hours.
Oh,
So it's a very limited time. So if someone wanted to take me out, that would have been the time to do it. To depict it is to invite calamity. Trains know when they're being depicted, and they do not like it. What are you talking about?
a dimple.
Dimple.
here?
You know?
Yeah,
A dimpus.
a dimpus.
Orcs don't have dimples.
Orcs don't have dimpy.
Never.
We're on episode 10.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Double-digit episode.
Isn't that wild?
I almost said this episode can drink now, but that's not the age when you can do
In
that.
what
At
country?
10.
In the northern tribes.
In the
In the
northern
northern
tribes.
tribes, that's the
Yeah.
drinking age.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, there's no ghosts in the northern tribes because when we kill something, it stays dead. In the northern tribes, we do cry over spilled milk. First place I went when I came to town was Hucky Hees. She was based on a dragon when Julia drew her.
Who's Julia?
Don't worry about it. It's orcish knowledge, orcish elder knowledge.